Welcome to Quant Spotlight. In this interview series from the CQF Institute, we ask leading quants to reflect on their careers, the skills needed for quantitative finance, and to offer their views on the latest industry developments. Julien Riposo is an esteemed CQF alumnus, acclaimed researcher, and award-winning writer. Holding a master's degree in theoretical physics and a PhD in applied mathematics, Julien currently works as a Digital Assets Quantitative Research for the London Stock Exchange Group.
So, hello everyone. My name is Julien Riposo. I'm very happy to talk here. I am PhD in applied mathematics. I got my PhD in Universités de Paris, Curie, and after that, I decided to go to finance. And I had many roles, like I was in a consulting firm, and then I decided to go to many other different areas, like in a clearinghouse, and I was working international swap and derivative application. I was working as well at chief research officer at Bitstocks, which was a small startup, and now I'm at London Stock Exchange Group. So now, my background has been mostly theoretical. I have a master's degree from École Normale Supérieure in theoretical physics, and throughout my career, mathematics and specifically quant aspects have been quite important. I'm happy to talk about it in this video.
Looking at your extensive experience and career journey, what sparked your interest for quantitative finance?
When I was a student, I intensively studied theoretical physics, as I said, but also chemistry, biology, and of course, mathematics. Domains of application were mostly around nature. While following the master's degrees, I had the opportunity to follow a course in statistical physics applied to financial markets. And I saw this and I said, wow, what's this? Right? So I used to see applications to nature, but not to finance or other economic topics. I was very, very curious of that, right? So I followed this course, and I knew I would develop my career in finance, right? At the time, and since then, I have been very attracted by the mathematics behind finance, and I have, developed further my passion for general mathematics with an eye on financial applications, of course. And then I discovered the world of cryptos. And this really is a world which I have a strong interest to. Why is that? Well, it's because it's new, it's innovative, it's a technological revolution, right? And when I discovered this world, I haven't seen any significant mathematical explanations on blockchain, for which I have finally decided to develop some, publish books and articles in this field. So mostly speaking, these were, consecutive and by chance love at first sight.
Did your early career roles deepen your expertise in quantitative finance?
Yes and no, right? So yes, because I was thrown to the finance environment, and of course by choice. And, the only knowledge, non-negligible in itself though, I had at the time was purely conceptual and theoretical. So what my roles allowed me to develop further is all the rest, quite important though, which is the discovery of the corporate world in the finance industry. And look, the interaction with the others, who are not necessarily quant, has been also key to figure out other but complementary points of view. At school, you learn pure theory, but of course, you can't see the concrete business problems which need to be solved. And the whole community helps understand those concrete problems. So quant aspects are not enough. You need, as a quant, to understand the business needs and solve the problems by means of quantitative approaches. As a transition, I would say also the answer to your question is no, precisely because of my previous point. So experience in finance itself does not develop your quant skills, as it's yourself who need to develop it from the interaction with finance as a whole, right? I believe it's quite important to keep this in mind. You don't develop math and quant skills from the industry, but you from yourself interacting with the industry, because these are abstract concepts, abstract notions. It's, in my opinion, very important to keep that in mind. So, to this extent, quant mind, and especially math mind, is some sort of philosophy which you develop through time. And of course, it's not just philosophy, skills, problem solving skills, you get more and more knowledge, and in my case, in general mathematics, and the maturity with it. Because, yeah, you need to be ready to use the knowledge, the new knowledge you acquire to solve industrial problems. At least, this has been my vision of quantitative uses in finance.
What strategies do you use to stay at the forefront of industry trends?
Right. So, as I said previously, I'm learning all the time, especially new math, the ones, of course, which I don't know. Um, the whole set of knowledge in math is just mad, right? And in my opinion, an undergraduate, graduate, PhD trip really is not enough at all, right? So my main objective has been to catch up with as much math as possible, which isn't really an issue, as I really find it fascinating. And I'm sometimes quite moved by some incredible results. I'm happy to talk about them in another video. So you've got the math, and you've got some industrial techniques, which solve concrete business problems, right? So in addition with that, my main interaction, my main industrial interaction nowadays is, and my main interest as well, remains in crypto. So I need to follow as much as possible the news, but also some white papers here and there to follow the trends as much as possible. And this is quite difficult to do because you need to be aware as much as possible of things, right? But also, yeah, sometimes you need to think about breathing, right? So uh, focusing on the present moment is also essential, right? But also you need to, and this helps, you need to accept that you make mistakes, and of course, learn from them, learn from the others. I'm gonna come back to the others, in a while. But an example of what I'm saying, perhaps, is the use of a math notion which you afterwards realize it is not appropriate to solve a specific problem, right? But here is what research is anyway, right? What's difficult, and perhaps um, what you don't learn sufficiently at school, uh, is to formulate a problem. Exactly the same way an exam is formulated. Let's go to that direction, actually. Um, in an exam, you trust the teacher when they say solve X. You trust that X is true, even if it shouldn't be the way to prove or not prove X. Um, and then you figure out a method assuming X is true, and you prove X eventually. But as long as you haven't proven that X was true, how can you pretend that X is true, right? So in the industry, what's quite difficult is to formulate X, right? That is to formulate the exam and then solve it. But you don't know if X is true or false, as you don't have any trusted authority to say that it's true or false indeed. So what's very difficult is to mathematically define your framework. Solving the thus defined problem, yeah, could also be difficult, definitely. And you may need some additional assumptions to solve at least partly your problem. A good illustration of what I'm saying is an article I have published last year on the uniqueness and continuity of the solution of the target exposure problem. Well, all this to say that you need to acquire maturity, which is, in my opinion, you don't inquire enough at school in general. That's what I would call professional experience, among others. And maturity, is not just Boolean. It's not that you're mature or you're not, right? There are degrees of maturity that you acquire throughout your entire life. Well, in my opinion, very specifically speaking, being a good mathematician in the industry is being able to gain this mathematical maturity with the acquire of new knowledge and following the trends through the news and other new developed techniques. Discussions with a lot of people, different areas, will definitely help throughout the journey.
For those starting out in quantitative finance, what core skills do you believe they should focus on developing?
I think I actually mostly answered that point before, but let me elaborate more on something I believe is quite important. I'd like to generalize this notion of maturity, not only to math, but in very general. Don't believe, as honestly speaking, I wrongly did, that you are a very strong guy because you've been first or second in class all the time. In fact, we know nothing. And we will always know nothing. We have to keep that in mind. Individually, we are dust in the universe, right? In space and time. I'm still, what I want to say is I'm still very blown up by the amount of things that I don't know. In particular, of the things I think I should know, which I don't, or I have simply forgotten, right? So yes, I'm not a machine and you're not neither, right? You forget things, that's a fact, and things which might appear to others fundamental and which should never, ever be unknown in their opinion. But that's fine. Tell them to watch this video and meditate for a second. I may shock, but allow me to break some rules. Trust, self-confidence, and self-esteem are, in my opinion, used as a mere marketing tool. The way people talk about these doesn't make sense, in my opinion, for the reason that we are all ephemeral, and the amount of knowledge is infinite, so that we acquire nothing at final, right? All of us should accept this fact. So you should develop yourself as much as you want, especially in an area which you want to develop to. You can collect advice from the others. They are always welcome. But do keep in mind that it is only you with yourself, all right? You are the only actor of your life. Life is short, we are dust, so let's be happy. By the way, in terms of being happy, keep in mind that all the critics you are going to hear from some should never, ever be personal, and especially in finance. They are not judging yourself, even if they think they are, which is not only dangerous, but also a common logical mistake. Actually, perhaps there is something to take here, right? But this shouldn't put yourself in question mark, not your being, right? You are as you are, and don't try to look like someone you're not. Be open with the idea that you know nothing, but you're still willing to share and listen. That you have to work hard and learn as much as possible, but in a peaceful environment. Get some knowledge of who you are, what you want, and only from yourself. Oh, by the way, I assume you like learning, which, yeah, would you watch this video otherwise? Well, maybe to summarize, I want to make you remember one extremely important thing, in my opinion. No matter what you do, you'll always hear people saying loud and also thinking deep down inside that you are doing wrong. Here again, just accept that and do it.
Focusing on quant expertise and impact, how does mathematics underpin your role as a quant and influence decision-making?
As we all know, mathematics is foundational to the role of a quant, and it permeates every aspect of quant duties in general, and of course, influencing decision making significantly. I'm going to give 4 non-exhaustive key areas where mathematics underpins the work which I have met. So the first area I want to share here is about model building and analysis. Um, I follow mathematical approaches to identify uneasy connections between different metrics and build models, right, to explain these connections. These models, they require strong foundation, of course, in calculus, linear algebra, probability, and statistics, but also differential geometry. And you can take my LinkedIn profile, for example. Math, they help in analyzing, understanding complex systems, generally speaking. Second area I want to talk about is risk management. So risk estimation, they involve the use of statistical measures like, mean, variance, value at risk, conditional value at risk, and others. And by calculating these or other metrics, I can better understand, the exposure of decision to various market risks and take appropriate action to mitigate them or to try to mitigate them. Third area, cannot talk about it, portfolio optimization. Mathematics is crucial, for determining how to allocate assets in a portfolio. Simply speaking, to maximize return, right, for a given level of risk, or conversely, to minimize risk for a given level of expected return. Techniques such as mean variance optimization, derived from the well-known Markowitz modern portfolio theory. They are mathematically intensive and necessitate a deep understanding of linear programming and optimization. One last topic, the fourth one, cryptocurrency and blockchain, of course. Mathematics are really the central language of a blockchain technology. Bitcoin technology, which aims at being, the most objective possible, since as a distributed public ledger, everything on it can be proven, right? I'm referring, for instance, to proof of the set. The agents in general, they can statistically be traced, as every single Satoshi in the Bitcoin environment. The cryptology technique, as well as finite fields on elliptic curves, modular arithmetic, they are abundant and describe the blockchain, as well as information diffusion on its peer-to-peer network. Well, through these and other tasks, to summarize, mathematics informs the decision-making process by providing a structured and quantifiable approach to analyzing financial markets, assessing risk, as we've seen, and identify opportunities. Generally speaking, mathematics, I would say, enables quants to make informed decisions based on logical, data-driven methodologies rather than intuition or speculation.
Is data indispensable in your area?
Yeah. Data is indispensable in any area of finance, but also, of course, in physics, chemistry, biology, etc., and perhaps also in math through simulation to get some inspiration from proving an assessment, right? This last aspect has been really key in my role. We have belief as normal humans, but can we prove their truth? Well, through models, data validate, help, simulate, orient methodologies and approaches, and influence mathematical leads and direction. I want to give some examples which I have faced of why data is essential. So the first example is about model development and calibration. So Finance, generally speaking, relies heavily on mathematical and statistical models to predict market movements, value financial instruments, and assess risk, as we've seen. These models, they require large data sets for development, testing, calibration, and without robust data, the models may not accurately reflect the market realities, and they could lead to suboptimal or risky decisions. Another one I want to talk about is, quickly speaking, algorithmic trading. Yeah. So the algorithms that execute trades automatically, they depend on real-time and historical data to make decisions. And these algorithms analyze market data to identify trading opportunities based on predefined criteria. And the accuracy and speed of the data feed directly influence the success of algorithmic trading strategies. The third area is about market analysis, a bit connected, but I often use sophisticated data analysis techniques, including, machine learning and statistical analysis, in order to identify market trends, correlations, anomalies, and access to comprehensive market data, I would say, is essential for these analyses to produce meaningful and actionable insight. The fourth area is about regulatory compliance. So regulators, they require financial institutions to hold sufficient capital against, their market and credit risk to report on various risk exposures. So we use data to measure these risks in order to ensure compliance with regulatory requirements. And without accurate data, firms could face regulatory penalties or unexpected loss as well. And last thing is about structuring products, right? So if you want to structure complex financial products such as derivatives, you have to have detailed data about the underlying asset and the market conditions, right? We use this data to design products that meet specific risk-return objectives and market demands. Well, in a sense, data is, the lifeblood of quantitative finance and of finance in general. And the field's methodologies and strategies are built upon and driven by data. So reliable, timely, and high quality data is really indispensable for accurate analysis, modeling, and, as we said earlier, decision-making in finance.
Our wildcard question of the day. According to you, what is the sentiment of traditional finance regarding blockchain and cryptocurrencies? What should be done to improve interest?
There are two questions here. The first one is about sentiment. Well, sentiment of traditional finance towards blockchain and cryptocurrencies, it has been mixed, right? Well, there is no single unified stance, let's say. The perspective can generally be broken, let's say, into, several views. So the first one that I have noticed is that there is cautious interest, right? So many traditional institutions, they are intrigued by, potential of blockchain technology for reducing transaction time, ensuring security, and cutting costs. So cryptocurrencies are seen as innovative assets, but they come with high volatility and regulatory uncertainty. And to this first view, there is also skeptical critique, okay? So some in traditional finance, they emphasize, concerns over regulatory issues, as I said, but also the potential for money laundering, high volatility, and bubble-like behavior of crypto markets. However, this would be my third point. There is strategic adoption, right? So northern banks and financial entities are really actively exploring or have already incorporating blockchain technology into their operations. Okay. So cryptocurrencies for some of these institutions are either being offered as investment products or are being studied for future possibilities. And I'm coming to your second question. How can we improve interest from traditional finance in blockchain and cryptocurrency? Well, there are several steps that could be helpful, in my opinion. So the first one is definitely we do need regulatory clarity, right? So clearer regulations could help mitigate many of the risks and concerns that I have mentioned, right? Making them more palatable to traditional financial institutions. Second point, and definitely we need more education and awareness, right? Enhancing understanding of how blockchain and cryptocurrencies work, their benefits and their risks, that could help demystify these technologies and increase their acceptance. I have significantly worked on these educational aspects with the publication of my book, Some Fundamentals of Mathematics of Blockchain, and other articles recently published. Another point, we really need to develop collaboration on standards. Working together and develop industrial standards for the use of an exchange of blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies, it could foster a more cohesive and efficient ecosystem. And we're entering the essence of blockchain, decentralized public ledger, right? Another point, we need to innovate financial products. Well, if we develop new financial products that use the strength of blockchain and cryptocurrencies, that could show traditional finance the practical utility of these technologies beyond speculation. Cryptocurrencies are going beyond speculation. I'm insisting on that. Last point, we also should focus on blockchain non-cryptocurrency users, smart contracts, supply chain management, identification, verification, proof of solvency, and more. These can showcase the technology's versatility and potential to definitely revolutionize various sectors. And as a conclusion, as this technology matures, as well as the thoughts around this, it's likely that traditional finance's interest and engagement with blockchain and cryptocurrencies will continue to evolve.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe to our channel now and explore more insightful interviews with industry experts. Want more exclusive content? Join the CQF Institute for free to discover the latest innovations and events in quant finance. Become a member today.